We're at Mansker Station today in the Moss Park in Goodlettsville. And we're gonna look at a pollinator garden. And even though it says do not enter, we get to go see what's causing all this activity here. Dan, good to see you again.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you.
Yes, tell us a little bit about what you got going here.
Well, of course, we have the milkweed. That was one of the first things that when we developed this garden, one of the first things we wanted was milkweed because we are a way station for the monarch butterfly. And so this is the host plant.
Monarch butterflies are many people's favorite. And here we have a milkweed plant and the larva of the monarch butterfly.
We planted one or two that we dug up, and they did survive, and then from then on, mainly by seed, they have continued to expand, and in fact, we're at a point that at times we have to kind of thin it out because it will take over.
Well, many people consider it a weed.
Yeah, they do, they do.
Yeah.
But here it's a luxurious plant for us. I saw lantana at a winery down in South Middle Tennessee. The swallowtails were everywhere, and I said, you know, I've got to have a lot of this. So there's quite a bit of lantana in here. And then we have COREOPSIS down here.
Yeah, such a pretty flower, isn't it?
It is a pretty flower, and there's all types of species of COREOPSIS, small moonbeam and the larger flowers. So it's a great plant to have in your garden, both from a beauty standpoint and as a nectar plant for the butterflies, all types of butterflies actually.
Dan, tell us a little bit about this penta.
Well, it's a nectar plant. I was at Butterfly World in Coconut Creek, Florida earlier this year, and pentas were everywhere. So I made a point to plant as more than I normally would because they're they're a pretty plant. And they're also, the butterflies love them. So.
Yeah, and I noticed you have some passion
Do have
flower.
it is a host for the fritillary butterfly.
I just love the CLEOMEs, don't you? They're such a beautiful plant, and they're a very old-fashioned flower.
Absolutely, and you can't have just one. They're very prolific. We have a number of them, and they're high enough that very visible.
Yeah.
And so they come back naturally every year.
Yeah, the seeds.
Seed pods, right.
Pods come, just all you got to do is just drop those seeds on the ground and you'll have more.
Yeah, in fact, here they go.
Yep, the old-fashioned spider plant.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yes, and I notice you have the tallest zinnias I've seen. Look at the size of these things.
Yes, I purchase them in bulk every year from a company. They are so tall, and of course having kind of the stadium type view that we have, you can see them from the front of the bed.
You grow basil here, so we grow this for eating, but you're growing it here as a pollinator plant.
Yes, yes, it's a host plant for one of the butterflies, and several butterflies in fact. And of course goldenrod here behind it. We have to thin it occasionally because it takes over. It likes to move throughout the bed.
Yeah. Dan, I love the fennel. It's so big and it smells so nice. It's just such a beautiful aroma.
It's a great plant for our garden. It's the host plant for the black swallowtail. And fortunately for us, it's a perennial, so we don't have to plant it every year, and it gets larger and more stems come out each year, so it's a great plant for us.
Yeah. And then you have your white CLEOMEs. That's nice.
Some goldenrod here, the white CLEOMEs. Then the...
oh, and then you got the butterfly bush.
We do, of course, more zinnias here, and the butterfly bush, BUDDLEJA. It's a great nectar plant. A lot of different butterflies enjoy it, especially swallowtails. One of the things about keeping it going is deadheading it.
I see where you've been cutting the blooms off afterwards, so that keeps it in bloom.
It does. It'll stay in bloom till frost if we do our job.
Dan, what's this big leaf shrub right here?
Carolina sweet shrub. The blossoms are pink. Beautiful, beautiful plant, and as you can see, it's done quite well. We planted it, I guess, about 3 years ago.
And I notice you have a few buckeyes. They look like they're different varieties.
We do. We have in the center there, we have a bottle brush buckeye. Then right up behind this plant, we have a red buckeye. They're almost like a magnet for butterflies. They just circle waiting to permission to land.
Like a little airport or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Okay, and then I see a pawpaw tree. I always love to see pawpaws.
We have a couple of pawpaws in here. One of the reasons they're a beautiful tree, but one of the reasons we have them is because they are the only host plant for the zebra swallowtail.
Oh, okay.
So we like to get plants in that will attract certain butterflies, like the common buckeye butterfly. We've planted plants in there that attract them. So that's what we look for, to try to find plants that will attract certain butterflies.
That's really cool. Yeah. And this is the Moss Wright Park in Goodlettsville.
That's right. It's Caldwell Lane, right off of Long Hollow Pike, which is right off of I-65. So it's really easy to get to, and you'll find an accommodating staff.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us out.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.